As a flower cannot grow on just any soil, a child's learning cannot develop in just any environment. As I turn my eyes to my students, I see 22 remarkably unique flowers that each require a different type of soil, amount of nutrients, and way of nurturing. As an educator, it is my obligation to provide each child with the ability to flourish in my classroom. In order for my students' learning to flourish, it is crucial that I understand what I need to teach my students and take leadership of the learning that will happen in my classroom. I plan specific ways I can facilitate learning for each type of student through an environment that is conducive to a vast population of learners. There are a few basic needs that each flower in any garden must receive in order to thrive. Just the same, there are several things that every student, no matter their background, their strengths, or their weaknesses, need to succeed. When a student enters the classroom each day, he or she should feel a sense of belonging and a sense of security. Each student must know that they are an important and unique piece of the puzzle that makes up our classroom. All students have their own strengths that no one can take from them. These strengths make them valuable and important. No matter the level of mastery a student has reached or not yet reached, an educator must make it a priority to highlight the best qualities in each student. I have learned through experience that positive reinforcement and encouragement is the most effective way to impact a student's success and behavior. Students must also feel a sense of security when they enter the classroom each day. An educator should strive to make the classroom a place where students can try new things, learn from experiences, and make mistakes without penalty. When students enter my room each morning, they put away more than just their backpacks. Along with those backpacks, they put away worries and insecurities. My classroom is a place where they can clear their minds of things that weigh heavily on them when they're not in my care. In Miss Lohman's classroom, students are safe, they are encouraged, they are appreciated, and they are free to learn without the fear of disappointing. The more time I spend with my students, the more I see the influence of my leadership. I find them using phrases that are exclusive to my own personal dialect. I see them gently patting one another on the back when they congratulate a friend, just as I do when I am proud of a student. I hear them helping others in the same tone I use when I'm explaining a difficult concept to a student who doesn't quite understand. Whether I realize it or not, I am a leader and a role model to my students all the time. Therefore, it is imperative that I use my influence as an opportunity to demonstrate for my students the work ethic they should use and the behavior they should exhibit on a daily basis. I must also use this as an opportunity to encourage students to take leadership in their own ways. Part of being an effective leader in my classroom is delegating tasks to others in order to help them build their own leadership skills. In my classroom, students collaborate often, and I have high expectations for the way collaborative assignments should be completed. Students are all given specific tasks, and they should work with one another in a way that allows every member of the group to contribute to the process and the final product. Though leadership in the classroom is vital, much leadership takes place where students cannot see. Behind the scenes, teachers must take responsibility of their students' learning and advocate for the needs and success of all their students. Children cannot always be heard by those who make the decisions that directly affect them. It is without a doubt the duty of an educator to represent students and advocate for their learning anytime an opportunity arises. The flowers of my classroom have the most vast differences imaginable. In nature, some flowers grow tall and some stay much closer to the ground. Some blossom extremely early in the spring and others lay dormant until the fall. As the gardener of my classroom, I must keep the soil of my flower bed fertile and well manicured all year. I have some who bloomed early. They fly through chapter books and write stories overflowing with details and events. Yet I have others who are surely growing, but I can't quite see the bud of the flower yet. Regardless of where my students are on their journey of learning, every single stage of growth is important. Even when it seems that their minds are experiencing a cold and dormant winter, it is my obligation to the students to encourage, to nurture, and to push them onward. Every student, no matter how diverse their learning style may be, deserves to be met where they are with the encouragement and intervention that is uniquely appropriate to his or her own learning. Teachers should actively plan to meet the needs of each student. This kind of preparation requires much analyzing and evaluating, and oftentimes re-evaluation of those plans once they are put into practice. The most effective strategy that I have used to reach a specific group of students was a book study with a group of students. I took part in reading with them. They read a chapter book. I reflected on my work and saw that I was not meeting the needs of all groups of students. I had left out my highest level of readers. After analyzing our class data, evaluating what my students needed to grow, and rearranging all of our literacy rotations, I was finally able to put this idea into practice. The students I chose were the fluent readers who love discussing connections to and topics in the text. Since beginning this study, their comprehension and discussion skills have blossomed, and they have become more active, engaged readers. In the process, I did have to slow down my pace, and we had to reread a few chapters. Such reevaluation is the only way to effectively reach those students. I had to actively plan instruction based solely upon their daily growth. As educators, we must find the beauty in each flower that comes into our classroom. It is imperative that a teacher's actions constantly remind every student of the valuable place that they hold in their classroom. Educators are leaders who are dedicated to providing students with the best instruction that is well planned to meet the needs of each student. In early education, teachers oftentimes don't get to see the bloom of the flowers they nurture each day. However, the primary stages of a plant's growth occur in the roots, which make up the foundation that holds the plant upright its entire life. Just so, early educators have the privilege of providing their students with a foundation that is strong enough to withstand a lifetime of growth and countless beautiful blooms.
You gotta get up. You gotta get up and make a move. 'Cause the world will never see you until you do. No, they don't really care what you're going through. So you gotta show them, baby. You gotta show them the real you. You gotta give them what you've got. No, don't let them see what you're not. 'Cause you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby. 'Cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. Just know that you're not alone. You don't always have to be strong all by yourself. I said it's okay to ask for help. Now listen, people will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. You are a work of art. Bet you didn't think you'd come this far. Now here you are. Baby, you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can can't be perfect, baby, 'cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you.
I like this book because it makes me think that I should always be myself and not copy anyone else.
Are you guys talking with each other now, working as a group?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Now we know all of this.
So, what have we discovered?
They went to McDonald's first, and then they were thirsty, and then they went to drink hot cocoa.
Okay, so we don't know for sure that they went to McDonald's first. But we do know that they went to McDonald's, right? Okay, so then what did we find out about this?
They had muffins next morning,
You knew they had muffins in the morning?
so that's fast.
Okay, that's a pretty good inference that they ate some muffins.
Maybe they
Holly said that they made muffins and they ate the muffins. That's a really good inference. Now what about our note? What did we infer about our note?
These cakes have 2 p.m.
What does it say?
These cakes at 8 p.m.
So what do you think Tim did?
He went to the park at 2 p.m.
To do what?
To meet cake.
There you go. That's a really good inference. Great job. Now what was our... Oh, this one. What did that tell us? They had hot cocoa. You guys are really good at this whole detective thing.
It looks like we have one more spot left at 10 o'clock. Who thinks they know? Up here. Just cross out the cross. Who thinks they know what happened at 10 o'clock? Maggie Lynn? They colored. You think they colored? Yeah. Is that a good inference? Is that something they could have done inside the house? Yeah. Very good. Now it's finally finished. You guys are pretty good detectives. Let's talk one more time about how we use our detective skills to make inferences. Everybody tell me, what do I put over here? Schema. And what do I put over here? Evidence. And when I put them together, I'm making inference. Here's what I'm proud of that. I'm so proud of you guys. Yesterday, I just want to see if you guys can remember. How many layers does our rainforest have? Holly? 4. 4 layers. What layer's up here? Which one's up here? Steven? Okay, everybody show me where immersion is. Way up here. Okay. Which layer is, Calvin, sit down. Which layer is right here? Gianni. The canopy layer. Everybody say canopy? Canopy. Okay. Which layer is right here? Not quite at the bottom. Don't shout out. Not quite at the bottom, but it's getting toward the bottom. What layer is here? Prue?
Understory.
The understory. And then down here, everybody show me down here. Which layer is down here? Avery? The forest floor. You guys have some really good memories.
The sleeping pig. One morning, Selena found a huge pig sleeping in the watermelon patch. We'll just have to pretend she's a lot bigger than she is. Selena began to shout.
Go home, Miss Pig. I wish you would go. You can't rest here in the watermelon patch. I can't pick my watermelons.
But huge Mrs. Pig didn't wake up. How are you feeling, Selena? You're angry.
Frustrated with it.
Frustrated. Walk over to her. A coyote came by and said,
Let me show you how to get Mrs. Pig out of the patch. The
coyote began to howl and howl. But huge Mrs. Pig didn't wake up.
A mule came by and said, I can make Mrs. Green out of that. The mule began to push, pretend, and push.
I'm gonna send a blood, gonna drown a mind. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.